Aloha, my friends and familia, and happy Thursday or Thor's Day. Today is named after the Norse god Thor, who had his lightning bolt. He was considered to be the god of the storms. And so there's a lot of energy on Thursdays, a lot of activation energy. Thor is also related to the planet Jupiter, which in the Greek mythology goes back to Mount Olympus. And the king of the gods was Jupiter. And so Jupiter is this big energy. It's actually the biggest planet in the sky. And so Thursdays are a big day for learning, for expansion, for tapping into the higher mind, and to expand our worlds, to expand our borders. Now, we just had our full moon, and a lot of people have been noticing, huge amounts of energy. And so I wanted to dive into kind of the mechanics of what's happening energetically on our earth that are creating this sort of hotbed of intensity. It's like the full moon's over, what's going on? So how we have to start this is by going back to Lionsgate, because Lionsgate is really where all of this intensity started. And there's something really powerful happening right now that occurs every year from July 30th through August 8th or so, which has to do with the star Sirius. And you've probably heard me talk about Sirius a lot now. And you're like, okay, Lotus, what's up with this star Sirius? And so every year in July, Sirius turns into a morning star. And so from about May 30th till about July 30th, Sirius is under the horizon line at dawn. So when the sun rises, Sirius is below the horizon. So we're not experiencing all of its great light. And Sirius is a Sirius star. Sirius is literally twice as big as the sun and 25 times more luminous. And so at the Lion's Gate marked when Sirius started rising with Osiris or Orion's belt with the sun. And so Sirius will be rising with the sun on the eastern horizon every day until May. Okay. And so for the ancient Egyptians, Sirius rising represented the return of the waters. It represented the flood of the Nile. And the flood of the Nile would mean the rebirth of wealth for the people in the form of food, in the form of abundance, in the form of nourishment. And so having Sirius rising right now is an absolutely powerful energy. One, because it's literally twice as big as the sun and 25 times more luminous. Have you ever heard of the dog days of summer? That occurs every summer when Sirius begins rising with the sun. And Sirius is located in Canis Major and is known as the dog star. And so that's one reason why the light quotient, where you go outside in the heat and you're like, it's hot, but there's like this level of heat that's just bigger. That is because of Sirius. And Sirius is associated with the ancient goddess Isis. Okay, so they called Sirius Isis's star. And she was the premier Egyptian, most ancient goddess who ruled with her husband Osiris, who is related to the constellation of Orion. And so having Sirius and Orion rising with the sun now every day until May means that we are on an ascension path where the light and luminosity of both Sirius and Orion's belt are going to be activating with the sun our potential DNA. Okay. And one of the reasons I say this is because Orion's belt and Sirius go way, way, way back. And many ancient cultures actually claim that we may have come from or originated from Orion or from Sirius. Okay. And that's very interesting because if we look at the ancient pyramids, Sirius and Orion are situated in such a way that Sirius, which was related to the ancient Egyptian priestess Isis, and Orion was related to the ancient king Osiris. Sirius is associated with the queen's chamber in the pyramid, and Orion lines up to the king's chamber. And so this was 25,000 BC that this was lined up. So what is the secret? What is the magic of Sirius and Osiris? How could that be affecting us all, given the fact that we're also having huge solar radiation, huge solar rays hitting the Earth? Who else out there is feeling this? Okay, they're feeling more tired. They're feeling like things are happening very fast. That is because we are in an ascension activation window, okay, where the energetics of these stars are aligning with the sun combined with solar flare. So the sun is increasing, and we have the solar light of both Sirius and Orion's belt. And so that light is incredibly strong. And so what that can do, let's imagine for a moment, here we have a bowl. Let's imagine that all of us are like this bowl. And we start out and we have this clean slate, but then gradually over time, things start getting added into our bowl, like this upset or this negative thing or this thing and this thing. And then our bowl has some stuff in it, right? Let's imagine that stuff is like tea leaves. And so we're walking around and maybe our bowl's fairly empty. There's kind of some stuff on the bottom, but we're not paying attention to it. Here comes Sirius and Orion and the sun rising together at the eastern horizon, acting as an amplification of light. And it's like pouring water into you. It's like pouring water into your being. And when you pour that much light or awareness into your being, it's like pouring water in, and it causes all the tea leaves and all the stuff to rise up to the surface. Yeah, thanks. And so this time period could feel a bit unsettling because things that have been buried, suppressed, or hidden are being brought up to the surface by the increased light. So that is causing greater awareness, greater cognitions, but a lot of it's happening on an unconscious level. So you may not be noticing it, you may not be aware of it, you might not be knowing that this is occurring or why it's occurring. And this is further accentuated when we look at the actual chart and we see that we have this incredible challenge going on. We have the sun in Leo, and it is currently still conjunct. It is exactly conjunct the heart of the sun, Regulus. Okay, Regulus is the heart of the sun. It's called the heart of the lion. And so we have Regulus, the heart of the lion. Let me get a picture for that. So Regulus conjunct the heart of the lion. Let's see, what would that look like? What would be the imagery for Regulus? So lion, heart. Let's get you a nice image for that. Right. Here we go. So here we have the sun, which is the lion, sun in Leo. And for those of you out there who think the sun just went into Virgo, that is not going to happen until about September 15th because of precession, we currently have the stars have moved backward about 1 degree every 72 years. And so if you're to look up at the actual sky, which I'll show you in a minute, the constellations have changed. And so the sun is actually in Leo until about September 14th. Okay. So heart of the lion. What is the heart? The heart is deep, isn't it? Like you take your attention from your mind and all of a sudden you put it onto your heart, you're going to feel something. You're going to sense something. I heard this amazing quote from one of my mentors and teachers, Saima, and she said to think with your heart and to feel with your mind. No, to think with your heart and to love with your mind. And I went, wow, that is so resonant for this sun in Leo conjunct Regulus, the heart of the sun, with the ancient premier OG twin flame soulmate star pair of Sirius and Orion rising with the sun, shining their light onto the planet, which peaked at Lionsgate. And this is going to happen all the way until May. So we're in this ascension pattern. And then today we have sun conjunct the heart of the lion, Regulus. Regulus relates to royalty. It relates to divinity. It relates to standing in our power, sitting upon our throne, claiming our crown, really owning the power and might and courage that we be, really owning that to an extreme degree where we are living from our hearts. We are acting from our hearts. We are living in bravery and we are living in courage. So what this could be stimulating or bringing up is, are we in our hearts? Are we living the truth of our hearts? And if we're not, anything that's in the way of that could be coming up to the surface. So now let's turn to the astrological chart. And so when we look at the chart of today, we have this really big challenge with our sun conjunct Regulus 2. So here we go. We have this quincux, it's called, between Neptune and the sun and Pluto and the sun. So sun with Regulus, living our heartfelt truth. Pluto is retrograde and Neptune is retrograde. Pluto is the god of the underworld. And so with this quincunx to the sun, quincunx means, for instance, that Pluto is speaking one language, picks up the phone to call the sun, call Regulus up, and they're speaking a different language. So there's two different languages trying to communicate. And so Pluto is the language of the underworld. It's the language of depth, intensity. It's things that have been hidden or kept secret or buried. The sun is shining our light. And so we could be in this really weird situation where, like, we're going out, we're trying to shine our light, we're doing our thing. Ring, ring, ring. Someone's speaking in a different language. We're like, what are they saying? We can feel the energy, right? We can feel where they're coming from. Pluto in Sagittarius is wanting to know the truth. It's wanting to be free. It's wanting to charge forwards. It's wanting to reveal anything that's hidden or secret and reveal it. It wants to go deep. Whereas the sun is like a child. It just wants to play. It wants to have fun. It wants to be joyful and joyous and free. It wants to just play the guitar and sing. But then Pluto is calling up the sun. And it's calling up the sun conjunct the heart of the lion. So talk about the depth of who we are. Talk about the depth of our wanting to shine. Pluto is the past because it's retrograde. And it's calling up saying, what have you not faced deep within yourself? What truth have you not acknowledged? Where have you held back in being who you're really here to be? Okay. This is big. This is really big. So I just want to say, if you're out there and you're having a challenging time right now, and you're like, yeah, Lotus, I'm trying to go out there and shine and be courageous and share my truth with the world and be in my heart. Because if you're watching my video, if you're on my channel, you're someone who is excited about shining your light. You're someone who's here on a mission. You're someone who has a big, beautiful heart and you want to share it. You want to shine it. You want to express it. Right? And Sun conjunct Regulus, yes, this is such a powerful time to do that. However, the fact that it is quincunx Pluto, the god of the underworld, things that are buried, secret, hidden, repressed. This is deep stuff. This is like the underground caverns and caves of our consciousness, right? So that's the skeletons in the closet. So that's the part of us that we haven't owned yet. They're the shadow. It's the shadow. So our shadow is talking to the sun. So greatest light, greatest shadow are on communication right now, at the heart of it. So deep at the heart of who we are, we have the depth of the past, and it's in retrograde, the depth of who we are calling. And it could be like, ow, like, what is that? Like, you're just doing your thing, you're living your purpose, you're doing your beautiful dream. And then there's something very deep within you that's speaking, that is activating, that is communicating with you. And so how do we handle that? Then we add in the fact that Neptune is also having this quincunx with the sun. And so, or with Mercury. And so Mercury's retrograde. Neptune is the great dreaming. It's the great illusion. It's the great hidden inner world, Neptune. So Neptune is the fog. Neptune can be lack of clarity. And so here we are stepping up to shine our light, shine our beauty out into the world. And we're having a hard time being clear on what that purpose is, because what's hidden in our subconscious is coming up to the surface. So this is like such a good time to slow down with Mercury retrograde until next week. Take some time and be, because our minds, Mercury is not thinking very clearly because it's retrograde. It's in this polarity, this quincunx to Neptune, which is creating this lack of clarity. And so we're trying to move forwards, but we're having a hard time having clarity with our thoughts. So what can we do? Well, today we have the sun moon midpoint in Taurus, pretty much exactly conjunct Jupiter, which is the millionaire star. And Jupiter is still conjunct Rigel, the billionaire star. So I would recommend getting out into nature could find some relief from this confusion about how to live one's purpose, how to shine one's light. Get out into nature, get barefoot, go and connect to the earth, connect to the sky, connect to who you are, and ground yourself, because the mind and the heart are having this huge conversation where the deepest depths of who we are is being brought up. So I hope this doesn't overwhelm anyone. I don't want anyone out there to be like overwhelmed by this information. My hope is that you can take this and have some type of answers for what you're going through and why the intensity level is so high. And so why this is all happening is part of our growth. It's actually part of our ascension into the light. It's actually here to help us and to propel and to push up the things that are buried, that are below the surface, up into the light. Okay, so if you're feeling this and you're wondering what's going on, I'm going to lead a call tonight at 6 p.m. So if you want to come and you can send me your astrological information and we can check out and see where these really intense aspects of the sun conjunct the heart of the lion, as well as these challenges are in your chart. So if you want to join me at 6 o'clock, we can go deep on that and transmute it, and we'll do some energy clearing and some energy healing to clear blocks that might be coming up for you. So I feel called to be of service with the heart of the lion, conjunct the sun. So if you want to join me, it'll be 6 p.m. You can comment below, share, message me your birth time information so that I can get your chart together, so that I can prepare you for the call. And we can do some clearings around what all this energy is bringing up for the collective. I highly recommend staying focused on your heart and loving, saying thank you, because thank you, as Dr. Emoto shared, which our mentor shared yesterday, saying thank you is the vibration of the most beautiful crystal when you freeze that water that you put that intention of thank you into. And so I really want to encourage everyone to focus on the energy of thank you. Thank you for what I'm being shown. Thank you for the awarenesses that you're showing me, because there could be things coming up from the unconscious, Pluto, with the sun, that have been buried for a long time. And so how can we say thank you to what we're being shown? How can we say thank you and say thank you to life, and say thank you for this world, and say thank you for what this world is showing us? To say thank you for the awareness, to say thank you for the growth, to say thank you for the healing. Thank you for these uncomfortable emotions, because they're helping me to get more clear. Thank you for this discomfort, because it's helping me to become more in tune with who I am. Thank you for the things that I can't control. Thank you for the things that are showing me love. Thank you for helping me get more into my heart. How can we say thank you for everything in our lives? Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. Even though this is challenging, thank you. Even though I'm going through this issue, thank you. Even though this emotion is coming up for me, thank you. And if you can't get into that space, Then join me right now. We'll just do a little clearing. Tap the sides of your hands. Focus on all the things that are coming up. Think about this world. Think about all the things. It feels like there's just this sense of so many things and so much happening all at once. Focus on that feeling. Tap the sides of your hands together. Now focus on how you would like to feel. I'd like to feel clear. I'd like to feel grounded. I'd like to feel whole and complete. I'd like to feel like no matter what's happening out in the world, I can still completely love and accept myself. Yeah. So just speaking to the heart, right? Sun conjunct the heart of the lion. How are we being pulled into this absolute courageousness? How are we being pulled into this absolute light of the lion? How are we being guided into our highest, most beautiful self? Yeah, focus on that. Focus on you claiming your soul light, connecting to the might of the heart and shining your light, stepping into that leadership, stepping into that power. Yeah. And just notice if there's resistance to that or fear around that, and tap the sides of your hands. And take a deep breath in and out. And rub your tender spot. This is the lymphatic drainage area, and rubbing here can help you to process and access emotion. So tuning into yourself, tuning into this world, tuning into all the things you're feeling. There's a lot. Oh, there's a lot out there. Even though I'm feeling. What is it you're feeling? Though I'm feeling overwhelmed, even though I'm feeling all this stuff, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm here, even though the world's doing this, I completely love and accept myself. Even though this, I completely love and accept myself. And just be in your feelings. Just allow yourself to feel whatever is arising. Take a deep breath in and out. Even though I'm feeling this, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling this other thing, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling this, I completely love and accept myself. Just take a deep breath in and out. Even though I'm feeling this thing or that thing, I completely love and accept myself. And just be there with yourself. Just notice what's arising. Even though I'm feeling this, I completely love and accept myself. And just notice how your feeling body is starting to shift. Good, you're just starting to let go. Tap the side of your hands together. Let yourself yawn. We're just clearing yourself. We're clearing ourselves. We're clearing the energies that we may be connecting to on this sort of intense time. But it's a beautiful time, and everything is happening for our highest and best good. You're going to rub your tender spot. Even though I'm feeling this thing, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling this, even though I'm feeling that, I still completely love and accept myself. Notice what you're feeling. Take a deep breath in and out. And we just ask for complete unconditional love healing for everyone on this call, everyone who will watch this into the future. We just ask for complete love and light to shower and bless your day. God, please give everyone out there the divine gift of peace and calm and the ability to connect to their hearts and to love. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. It is done. Sending you all so much love and gratitude, and the prayer that all beings on this earth be happy, be healthy, and free. Biggest love, aloha.